Good afternoon, President Lalovic. Thanks so much for taking some time to talk with us. How, in your perception of the Olympics so far, how pleased are you with how the competition has gone?
I'm very pleased by everything that happens in Paris. There are, like always, some details that could have been better, but it's a huge project. We have almost 45,000 accredited people. Everything is very complicated, but we are in the heart of the city, probably the most beautiful city in the world. We are sitting now just down the Eiffel Tower, enjoying the atmosphere of the Olympics, which is reigning on the city, absolutely.
Yeah. During your time at United World Wrestling, you've been there 10 years now. What are some of the accomplishments you're most proud of, the growth of international wrestling with UWW?
I would say a lot of transparency in our work. I would say much more followers of our activities and our sport. And then with all the details that we succeeded to fix in order to have all this, from refereeing, from draws, and so on and so on. And, of course, introducing more and more women in our sport.
What were some of the biggest challenges in getting to that point for not just women's wrestling, through the officiating, draws, et cetera?
But the heritage, I think that was the biggest challenge, the heritage that we had. Today we are a different community with much more, transparency in what we do, and our athletes understand what we do and why we do. We can address or answer to every protest, to every remarks that have been made to us, but we always have arguments.
Yeah. For wrestling fans, the Olympics is, the pinnacle, and everyone's very excited for it. But one thing that fans are critical of or long for is additional weight classes. Is that, in your estimation, something that could ever be amended or changed in any way for Olympic weights?
I do hope so, but it's a long process.
Yeah.
We really need a lot of time to show that we are probably the first combat sports on the Olympic. We are the first one by the number of competitors, but we have to remain on few Olympic games as being the leader in visibility.
Okay.
That's important. And also we are thinking about adding another discipline, which is beach wrestling. We will have to showcase it on Youth Olympic Games in 2 years in Dakar. And then maybe the door to our sport in the Olympics will be opened wider.
So it would not be something that could happen in the near future. It would be more long-term for that to happen?
Yeah. Looking back, we see that all the sports took a lot of time to enter the Olympic world and remain there. It's not easy too.
Yeah. Obviously, in 2013, when wrestling was in peril and nearly dropped, the standing for the sport was in jeopardy. How strong do you feel the position is for wrestling now from that period of time?
We cannot even compare those two situations. Today we are a serious sport, seriously considered by the IOC, by the Olympic movement. We have our place, which is, I would say, strong. And but we have to continue to update the sport, to update ourselves permanently in order to keep that position and improve it with the time.
As you look towards the future, what does that look like? What is that improvement? What are the areas that you see within the sport that most need to be improved?
let's say that we should additionally work on development for countries who are not really on the top level. You saw probably some changes also by the distribution of medals between continents. We had Greco-Roman Asia becoming extremely strong, which was not the case before. South America too. And this is totally new. You may say Russians are not here, but Russians don't take all those medals.
No.
And it's only one per weight class, eventually. And even then we noticed that Russia is not so dominant like it was before. We have now Japan, we have Greco-Roman Japanese Olympic champions. That I don't even remember when that happened.
Yeah.
Freestyle becomes stronger in Europe. That's also very good. More competitiveness between different areas. But I expect, you saw this morning the boy from Guinea-Bissau.
Yeah. Right there.
He was close. He almost beat the one of the pretenders to the Olympic gold. Everybody thought that he's one of the main.
Absolutely.
But that's what we expect to happen more and more, and this makes our sport more and more interesting.
Totally agree. As also looking to the future, do you anticipate any major rule changes or any even tweaks? It's actually one of I think the great attributes of United World Wrestling in the last 10 years is finding a good rule set and really sticking with it and more fine-tuning it. Do you anticipate any changes?
We will certainly make some adjustments, this is sure. We are analyzing everything that happened here and what happened during the last Olympic cycle. But if we change something, then it has to last the whole Olympic cycle. We cannot change in the middle. This is impossible. It's possible, like we did in 2017, I think. We made some changes in weight classes and this and that. But we are not going to do so this time. But fine-tuning, as you said, or adjustments, and we have certainly to add some oil to the machine to make the sport more spectacular.
Yeah. Do you, with regard to weigh-ins, you referenced the movement to have the weigh-ins on day of every day. That was a significant change. Do you ever anticipate changing that or potentially adding an allowance on the second day of competition?
We spoke about this last 2 years, but we, as I said, were not ready to change any rule during the Olympic cycle. With what happened here, we may reconsider this position, especially for women. For women, it might be sometimes more complicated than for men. This second weigh-in from the medical point.
Yeah.
And this will be discussed for sure. But the reason of introducing the second weigh-in without tolerance is that we want our athletes to be healthier once they stop competing. We introduced that in order to make everyone understand that more they compete in their natural weight class, it is better for them for their whole life.
Yeah.
Not only for these 10 years of top competition. That's the reason. And we will certainly reconsider and talk with our medical commission what might be done. I was asked recently, why do we have weight tolerance on ranking series? Yes, we do, because they are in the preparation period of the athletes for big championships. But we would really like them to compete in their natural weight. and I'm sure that they are the most performant in that weight. But there is an old way of thinking, a tradition that the wrestlers should lose 10, 15% of their weight to compete. That's not true.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
As you look at the different weight classes, I understand it, expanding the current ones we have in the Olympics may not change, but is there any consideration for taking the 6 weights we have and shifting those around, or do you believe they'll remain?
I don't see what will be the result. We will just have a more complicated situation, and for what? If everybody is used to those weight classes, let them stay like this. But this also, the decision is on, and the proposal is on our technical committee, but in order to persuade the board, they would have strong arguments for that.
Yeah. There's a lot of excitement at the Olympics about the mixed judo competition. I wanted to know if you had seen any of that, and if that's something that you thought had any possibilities within wrestling.
I don't. I never followed that really. I have to admit it. Huh? But it's somehow limiting for nations. That depends a lot of the number of competitors that you have qualified on the games, and maybe it's not absolutely fair. But we will reconsider this. We thought about this. The technical committee should propose eventually something. But judo has one style. We have 3 styles.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 styles and
Yeah.
it's much more complicated for us.
Yeah. You had mentioned the importance of media previously and part of the growth for United World Wrestling. What would you say the importance of media partnerships are for UWW, particularly with Flow Sports?
I have to say that we are very much satisfied with the work of Flow Sports. And this is, we are always ready to renew our partnership because we saw the benefit that we have from the activity of Flow Sports, especially in the United States. And the decision is made upon our experience for the future. And we understand absolutely the importance of the mediatic exposure of our sport. We know that without this, we have no future, especially in the Olympic family. And today, it's all measured. And sports are compared between them in the Olympic movement, and that is something that will in the future have more and more impact, especially on choosing sports on the Olympic program.
Understood. Is that measured? You talk about the measurement and the overall viewership of it. Is that just is that considered like your partners and all media partners for wrestling, or is it just specifically viewership within NBC in America or worldwide?
No. It's all many markets are taken in consideration, from Japan to the United States. The IOC has chosen few, maybe 20, 30 countries, maybe even more. But we are strong on those markets and becoming stronger and stronger. Not all the countries that we would like have been taken in consideration, but that will change also. For example, we don't have the figures from Iran, and Iran we are extremely popular. This time in Russia we will not have fantastic figures like anyone there, but I do believe that we will be among the 10 best sports when it is about mediatic attention on the games. These are my expectations.
That's great. For American fans, the experience in 2015 when the World Championships were there was amazing. Do you anticipate any World Championships, senior or age level, to to come to the United States in the next quad?
We would like very much to have World Championships in the United States, especially before the LA Games. That would be not only a big event, huge event like we had in 2015, but maybe 12 years after Las Vegas, we should go back again in Las Vegas, but in cooperation with USA Wrestling, of course. And before that, maybe some junior competitions.
That would be awesome. People would be
That would
thrilled
be awesome.
to watch that.
And I have to say that 2015 World Championships in Las Vegas was that totally changed the perception of our community and how the sport has to be presented in the future. And then from 2015, we changed a lot in sport presentation, in mediatic approach, and so on.
Wonderful. Mr. Lalovic, I really appreciate your time. Do you have anything else you'd like to add or say to wrestling fans before I let you get back to your day?
I hope that you will soon see last 3 days of wrestling, the best wrestling you ever saw. We already had few matches really today.
Yeah.
Crazy, huh?
Crazy.
But this is the charm of our sport, and we have to follow that charm.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.